Welcome to Devlog number 008, and I'm going to be doing things a little different this week. If you've been following development, you know I've been working to release a demo for demo day number 44, which is right now, and I'm happy to say that I've made it. The link with the download for version 0.2.1 of Sick Transit is in the description, along with a link to all of the other games submitted. This Sunday is the last day to submit a game, so keep on checking things out and see what's uploaded. Now personally, I think it's a little silly to recap what I did 2 weeks ago when there's a demo out now with everything in it. So I figure I'd do a little level tour and give you a director's commentary cut, if you will. First of all, the obvious. Things look different. It no longer looks like a Mirror's Edge DLC, and I'm pretty pleased about that. I think it's time to reveal that I'm drawing a lot of visual and thematic inspiration from Beksinski. He was a Polish artist and he passed away in 2005. He did primarily surreal and magic realism works. I'm not matching his works as close as I would like to, but it's something for me to work on moving forward. Now onto the tutorial zone. For a demo, especially one as simple as this, I think an in-game tutorial is a must, because just reading controls, some people just aren't going to do it. I went through 3 iterations of the tutorial, and I settled on this one. Unfortunately, it doesn't cover how slopes affect your sliding speed. For those of you who played the previous versions, you'll remember that I tutorialized that. It does keep a key aspect of what I wanted out of my ideal tutorial. It's completely skippable. Just like the last one, you can use the grapple to skip past all the boring stuff and get straight to the fun. But before we leave the tutorial zone, let's look at this new texture. I'm using this texture for the no-touch trigger volume, and I'm pretty pleased with it. I wanted to toe the line between blood and lava, and I think I did. Aside from a few alterations, I imagine this is going to stay largely the same from here on out. Oh, and the floppy disk. It's a placeholder, but it was a whole lot better than the previous placeholder, which, if you remember, was just a glowing ball. I wanted something that fit better with the current level look, but I just couldn't do it in time, so I threw this together real quick. On to the level as a whole. It's more empty than I would have preferred, but oh well, I had a deadline. Ideally, I would have added some vegetation and structures, especially in the flat area in front of the quarry, but deadlines, baby. I did, however, add some fog patches, and it's pretty subtle, but it does add a bit of movement to the level. I'm going to be adding more elements that bring more movement, like those moving platforms from the previous demo level, and that should liven everything up a bit. And the elephant in the room, here we have these intertwined arms holding a glowing giant beating heart. And honestly, I made this out of necessity because this part of the level was just too dark because there's no glowing quarry or giant skylight. So I added this in, and the arms were already rigged up, so I just dropped them in pretty fast. The heart was pretty quick to make. It's just vertex animations. So it was pretty quick to do, but I'm pretty pleased with how good it came out. And it complements one of the will-be central themes of the game. And onto the quarry section. Again, I wanted to add more things like pseudo-vegetation growing on the walls and out of the no-touch stuff, and maybe some structures on top since so many of the quarry blocks have big open tops, but time, pencils down. At the moment, all of the blocks look real samey, especially on the inside, and I'm hoping I can make them more individual in the future so navigation is easier. I was in a bit of a bind because I had to figure out how to light up the insides of them, hence the glowing texture, but now they're all just similar, which is something I'm going to change in the future. And I intended to add more gameplay elements here. Just like in the demo, I wanted moving geometry between the quarry blocks, because I think that stuff is fun. And I also wanted a boost pad, or something to shoot the player up vertically, because right now it's real tough to gain height aside from using the grapple. And when you look up at the big tower essentially in the middle, I intend to bring back the radially moving level geometry, just like in the last demo level. In the end, you'll be using a combination of the boost pads and the moving geometry to navigate up this big tube here, which will get you between the levels. And that's it for this week. Next week's devlog will be back to the usual stuff. I'll be covering the actual development instead of just doing a glorified tour. And as I said at the top of this episode, the new demo is live. You can download it right now on itch.io deckbuilders.io. If you play it, I would deeply appreciate your feedback. Either comment on the page there or here. Either's fine. Also, check out the other games submitted, and be sure to leave feedback for those developers if you do. I'll be playing and reviewing a handful myself, and I'll probably upload some playthroughs. They're going to be completely unedited, so don't expect anything good. And as always, if you like this episode, please give it a like, and if you're interested in following development, please subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at dev_natsu. I post kinda regularly, and if you like bread, I post what I bake there early. And speaking of bread, let's get to it. So I said last week that I would be returning to sourdough, and I did. And I didn't do anything really ambitious, like I didn't do a super high hydration dose, because I just wanted something, just ease myself back in. But still, they both came out really well. I'm pleased. If we took a look at the crumb, first loaf, good crumb. I try other types of bread because I try to just improve my technique overall, and I tried resting these a bit longer so I got more rise, and I think it really paid off here. So yeah, again, I make everything by hand, and I make everything from scratch, including the yeast. I used wild yeast. I don't use brewer's yeast, so it's all everything you can do. Just flour, water, salt, basically. That's all I use. And yeah, you should make your own bread. It's good. It's a nice hobby. And of course, when you're done, you have bread, and you can share with your friends. I share all my loaves. So yeah, make your own bread.